So, hello, this is my first video blog. Just to say, if you're going to hear a few noises in the background, it's because there's lots of little dogs sniffling around. 8 days now post-op. I had my gastric bypass on the 3rd of August. And really I've just decided to make this blog just to, for my own selfish purposes, really just to try and track the journey as I move down the line and see how things go. Where to start? I suppose start where things are at the moment. I'm feeling really well. The surgery went better than I think the surgeon anticipated, with me being still so big. I've lost in the last week, I think, coming up to, it's about 1.5 stone now, I think, in 8 days. Managing with food, okay, sloppy food at the moment. I'll show you, this is roughly the amount of food I'm taking in 3 times a day. It's in a sloppy form, so basically pureed, liquidized type stuff, yogurt, soup, scrambled eggs, made very loose, things like that. And most importantly, I'm managing to keep my fluid intake quite high, because dehydration can be a real complication in these early days. So I'm managing to more or less get my 2 litres of fluid down each day. What else? I mean, I got out of hospital a lot quicker than I anticipated. I was actually discharged more or less the day after the surgery. Normally they like to keep people in 2 days, but I was doing really well, so they decided to let me out the day after, which was quite a nice surprise. If anybody's starting off on this journey or curious about the actual sort of pain levels after the surgery, yes, there is some initial pain and some discomfort, mainly caused by the fact that it's a laparoscopic procedure, so it's done through making a number of small incisions as opposed to actually one large incision, which is a lot longer recovery time. And to do that, what the surgeon has to do is basically inflate the body cavity full of air to be able to perform the surgery. And because that air's in the cavity, it's got essentially nowhere else to travel out, so it can stay trapped in your upper body and in your shoulders for quite a long time. So I had quite a lot of discomfort from that from a couple of days. Initial pain waking up from the surgery was quite high when I came round, but that was managed with morphine, which I have to say was absolutely fantastic. I mean, just away with it, it was a really a nice feeling. But then, as the night sort of progressed, I came out of surgery at about I went down at about 3:30 in the afternoon, came out of surgery and out of recovery at about 8 o'clock. I think by 3, 4 in the morning I was basically off the morphine and was moving on to liquid paracetamol, surprisingly, of all things. So yeah, not too bad with the drugs at all, really. Surprising. And the surgery itself was if anybody's gone through this process, it's a lot less, well, for me, I can speak from my experience, I found it to be a lot less painless than I thought it was going to be, which was quite good. Other things at the moment, I'm still having to wear my surgical stockings, basically to make sure that my circulation's kept going, and I'm also having to inject myself twice a day into my stomach with, it's called, what is it called? Tinzaparin. It's an anticoagulant drug which basically stops blood clots from forming, because I understand one of the risks of operating on obese people is the risks of blood clots are highly increased in the legs and in the abdomen. So I've got about another 3 or 4 days of injections to go. I have to say, I'm not a big fan of injecting myself at all, but the pain's not so bad. I think it's just more or less to getting the initial jab in. So overall it's gone really, really well. I'm quite excited and greedy to see what the results are going to be now. And a little bit of background, the sort of, this hasn't just happened quickly, it's been a sort of more or less about a 2-year process. The surgery's been funded by the National Health. They don't just give it to anybody, so there's a number of things that you need to do. But I think I realised back end of 2009, with my weight at about 38 stones, that I really had no choice but to do something. I've struggled with this all of my life, so began the journey really of seeking the surgery, largely because there was other things which were starting to give way. I mean, in relation to my knees and my joints and sleep apnea, high blood pressure, in a way that was described as a bit of a ticking time bomb, which I think is true. First protocol was to see my GP, who was fantastic, and said, this is what we think, you need to explore this as a definite route to trying to sort out this weird problem which has really plagued me all of my life ever since I was a child. It's gone up and down, backwards and forwards. So he was fantastic, made the initial referral to the bariatric department at North Tyneside Hospital. What I was then expected to do was to take part in a sort of a 2-tier commitment process. One was a 12-week lightening up programme, which was a mixture of exercise and basically reducing my weight, and the surgeon would be kept up to date on that. I completed that well. I think I lost about, possibly about 2 stones, 2.5 stones in that 12 weeks. Then went back to see the surgeon, who expected some commitment to basically move the process forward again. They keep pushing you a little bit at a time, which I think is a really good thing to keep you motivated. And I attended a seminar about bariatric surgery to really find out more about it, and it was, I have to say, quite a hard-hitting seminar. A lot of the information that was given out, I think, was quite difficult to take on board, but I think part of the thing is about being honest with people that this surgery is not an easy way out. It's quite a high risk surgery with a lot of complications involved, and also a few things I remember from that surgery, or from that seminar, was the surgeon basically asking the probably 20 or 30 people there, firstly, were we prepared to die for the surgery, because there was a risk that we could die, and secondly, he was saying to us that you could potentially, with some of us, if we show the commitment, make us healthier, but you might not be able to make us beautiful, and that the surgery wasn't the magic wand for taking away all of the other problems in life. It's it can deal with the weight if you work with it, but you might not necessarily be happy, and the end result might be that you mightn't be particularly beautiful after it, because there's obviously, in the morbidly obese, there's a huge risk of loose skin, and the end result not looking too pretty at all. So it could well be that after you've recovered from the initial surgery, you've then got to go on to seek additional surgeries to deal with the issues around the loose skin. I'm a little bit worried about that, but I have to say, I have lost 13, 14 stones before and put it back on, and when I lost that weight, I was quite fortunate that I didn't really feel that unhappy with how I looked, but I was exercising a lot. So my plan is, when I've recovered from this surgery, to get back to the gym as quickly as I can. That's what I would like to do. So following that seminar, what happened then was I went back and had another consultation with the surgeon, and he basically said to me, the size I was at, which I think at the time was probably about 35 stones, I was still going to be very, very high risk for surgery, and there was, a good chance I might not make it through. So the route we decided to go down was to look to have a intragastric balloon fitted first,